So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about Zeus Network star Chrisean Rock accusing her older sister Tesehki, also known as Latifah, of making her eat her box when they were kids. Now, I don't mean to be insensitive, but there's just a way I have to say things on YouTube because there's a lot of finicky verbiage needed to make a video suitable for advertising. But I will put a trigger warning that this is a touchy subject.
When I was 7, you made me eat your.
You said what? I'm done talking. You're going to jail. Defamation of character.
So we all know Chrisean Rock from the show Baddies. She got her start being one of the contestants on Blueface, who is a rapper and also her child's father in question. It was a show that he put out during the COVID era, which was basically for the love of Blueface. There were a set of women and they all lived in a house and they would fight for the love of him. And he called it the Blue Girls Club, which was a spin on the show Bad Girls Club that we used to watch back in the day. From there, she was a breakout star for her crazy antics. They started dating. He encouraged her to do music. She also became known as a rapper or artist, and the rest was history. Their relationship, which was very tumultuous, became public. Millions of people tuned in to witness how toxic and violent it was. They went viral every other day for many different reasons. They landed their own show on Zeus Network, which I have now since watched, and side note, it was pretty entertaining, but also very polarizing. And then inevitably, two people with zero respect, self-regard, and a lack of self-awareness ended up in their own pool of mess. Blueface is currently serving a 4-year sentence for violating probation from a firearm charge that he had, and Chrisean spent time in jail about 2 months during this summer, and is also facing up to 8 years, although she is out on bail. So with this recent information about Chrisean admitting that her older sister made her go down on her when they were kids, this is also being publicized on Zeus Network as an enticing preview to watch their upcoming installment of the show Baddies. Baddies is basically a popular, vulgar, intense version of the Bad Girls Club, but in this show, the ladies travel from city to city doing club hostings to, quote, get a bag, and all the while they fight each other over pointless, petty, and meaningless things. They drink to their stupor, and the show has really lost the plot. Audiences are over the violence, the unnecessary conflicts, the abundance of cast members who we either don't know or know, the attempt to research people's careers, the lack of actual planning to make an actual storyline, the return of cast members season after season that really serve no purpose or are just unlikable by audiences, and just the overall fact that these ladies are literally doing foolishness. And I think that's what the network has honed in on. Even with this situation, the preview for Baddies Midwest features this admission Chrisean made to her sister Tesehki and her reaction to it. And they're definitely exploiting a very serious, traumatic, and touchy subject, whether people believe it's true or not. And I think to posterize these type of allegations and this subject matter is very despicable. But it's very Zeus Network. Their whole entire platform is literally where you go if you want to make no growth on your mental health, if you are already struggling with mental health and past traumas, assault, violence, alcoholism, gluttony, and so forth. And although I do see the argument that it is entertainment, because it is, I've watched their network and kept up with their shows, I think there's a fine line between the things that their brand continues to publish because it works for them, and we all have a choice to watch or not watch, versus something that Zeus Network nor their employees have the wherewithal to really cover and unpack. You can tell the conversation was not a therapy session or a counseling session. It was a conversation that was set up between two sisters to be posted for promotion and entice viewers to tune into something that is flagrantly foul. So I wanted to talk about this because obviously it's viral, but because there's been a lot of debate on what the truth may be, and then also just some of the background information and reactions from different people speaking on these allegations. Again, trigger warning for those who may feel uncomfortable with this subject. So I've broken this video down into 2 overall main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first talking point is the allegations. So it's obvious that the allegations here are that Chrisean is alleging that Tesehki made her perform oral onto her when they were children. And I do want to note that it is very clear that all of these people were children at the time that this happened. Obviously in the clip, Tesehki is very shocked that Chrisean said this because I don't think she expected the conversation to be that, which makes me believe that Chrisean knowingly came in there to drop this type of bomb because there were cameras and that it would paint her sister in a very bad light. And And irregardless of what the truth is, I do think that there was some intention behind it, because it's interesting that it took until this moment where the two sisters are at odds for Chrisean to say something that would make her sister appear very bad, and knowing that it would be a point of contention in her sister's reputation and celebrity, and also the whole Baddies Midwest show. And note, she has mentioned this before, but I will get to that. Now, during the last season that the two sisters were on the show, which I believe was Baddies East, they started off as two peas in a pod. And then when Chrisean let her sister get jumped by her friends, they fell out, rightfully so, and have been at odds ever since. So although I am inclined to believe what Chrisean is saying is true, I don't play with allegations like that, especially as someone who's gone through the same thing as a child by a family member. I do think it was done with the intention to harm and not the intent to just tell her truth and go through forgiveness if that's what she really wanted, because Chrisean did say that she does forgive her, and it wasn't actually to have a therapeutic session with a topic that both parties were aware of. Obviously, people were caught off guard. Now, let's not forget that this is not the first time that Tesehki has been accused of this. Sometime last year, if not the year before, their nephew, who is their oldest sister's son, came out with similar allegations against Tesehki.
Literally 5 of them that did that shit. Stop just throwing teeth up. It was literally 5 of them. Yeah, they wait till a nigga get old as fuck to finally believe me. I'm old as shit now. When I was going through trauma as a kid, that's when y'all supposed to be asking me these questions. How is it impacting you now and this and that? Yeah, when I was a kid, when that was happening, I tried to kill myself. I used to break shit over my head a lot. I used to do a lot of shit, slam my head to the wall till it. I done been pulled out of every school I went to. I've been locked up by cops in schools. All that, man. I was fucked up. That's when y'all should have been asking me the questions. But nobody cared because nobody was famous. So I was just going through hell.
And like I said, she would have never been on that show if it wasn't for Rock. Facts. Latifah is our sister. That's who she is. Wait a minute. Let me get my daughter on here, y'all. Hold up. Chrisean is saying she was trying to play housewife. Oh yeah, that's what she did. That's how she got my son. That's what she did. So she definitely not lying. Chrisean is not lying. I already knew all the truth was gonna come out. What I tell y'all? Remember when she was on Prince Live and she used to talk all that shit, talking about we was lying, this is in the third? What I tell y'all? God gonna show himself, and he always do. What's up, Lax?
No, she really said that part too. I just saw that part too. I didn't see that part at first. Yeah, Tifa, you see, we not cool from when we were kids. What you think I forgot? Yeah, you want to keep playing house.
So I knew Tristan wasn't the only one. I knew it. We was just the only ones that spoke up. And I'm glad Chrisean's speaking up now. See how God worked? I love the Lord. That's why I said we're going to sit back. The truth always come out. Always. Every time. That shit always come out. Today I saw a post saying all them Malones except Serene and Chrisean tried to molest Tristan. Facts. Big facts. Serene and Chrisean was the only ones that did not touch my child. Facts. Facts. Big facts. Like I knew what she did to my son. But Chrisean spoke up for me, what her father did to me, but she never spoke up about what Tifa did to my son until a day. That shit got me so fucked up right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. But like when I told my son, I said, we do need to forgive. All I wanted her to do was apologize to my son for what she did to him so he can have some type of closure. But I told him that apology. I didn't know she did that shit to my sister too. And everybody wonder why we be so up in the head, why we do shit we do. Like that shit holds a toll on you. I ain't gonna lie. Because like I said, my trust issues, my son trust issues, I was up. Like we don't trust nobody because it was our family that did it. That's what makes it so bad.
I don't have a real relationship with my sister because when I realized when I got older, she didn't really me too. When we was kids, she was a fast individual, bro. Ask her about when she wanted to play house. No, because she acting like ain't really trying to touch me. Like, we don't like each other because our childhood, bro. Don't be making shit up. Like, yeah, we forgive you and all this other shit. We don't talk about what happened. And now you're trying to like make it seem like something really happened, something really was going on. First of all, that's all TV. But if we'll be honest, I forgave you, Latifah, for a lot of shit and still forgive you. Just keep my name out your mouth, man. I don't talk.
And it seems like both Chrisean and their nephew Tristan keep using this phrase, playing house. Tesehki is older than all of them, so she was probably looked at as the person in charge, a parental figure, or just the big cousin or the big sister or the big auntie who had more authority than all of them. Tesehki mentions that she's also a victim of the same treatment by other family members.
I said, but Tifa and you, Chastity, y'all went through some shit
like, you know, nobody never, you know what I'm saying? I never personally went through something that took my love of, like my childhood away. The only thing that took my childhood away was like mommy always sleep and been at friend's house, but that's it. I don't know.
So it seems like it was learned behavior that she also couldn't process as a child, and in turn did the same thing to the younger family members, not understanding that it's not right, it is abuse, and it has indelible damages on anybody, young or old, who goes through molestation. Everybody has admitted they were all kids. Apparently the nephew was 7 or 8 years old, Chrisean was around the same age, and Tesehki was 12. And a 12-year-old doing this to younger kids, to me, sounds like everybody here was being abused and molested. And these allegations are being brought because the younger kids expected more from Tesehki, even though she herself was also a child. This entire situation is very unsettling because everyone on the internet is saying that this family needs counseling and therapy, which is very true. But it's worse because I feel like no one in this family is intelligent enough to really understand why blaming one another for things where each of them have little to no mental capacity to understand isn't the solution. The adults that abused all of these children are really the ones at fault. The parents who chose drugs or lack of parenting or not being present for their kids over doing the right thing are at fault. I don't like the mentality where in a lot of Black families, there are secrets that stay on the down low or the hush hush of molestation, forceful penetration, abuse, assault, and all of those things are just so common that I don't believe that this conversation should have ever been shown to the public. I get why people are speaking out on it, and I will say it is like a 10-second snippet, so we don't have the context all the way just yet. And I do get why Chrisean is making a statement. I understand why their nephew has also made a statement. And I'm not trying to absolve anyone of anything, but it's hard for me to blame children for doing things to others that was done to them before they were able to understand why it was wrong. A 12-year-old who was probably molested and assaulted and abused for years before she was 12 doesn't understand why doing something like this to others isn't right, because she either thought it was okay or was forced or driven to believe that she had to stay quiet or became indoctrinated in a sick behavior. So overall, these allegations being brought to the light just goes to show that it's reflecting deeper issues, and I think it does reflect a lot of Black people. And I don't like this stereotype that a lot of Black families, regardless of nationality or geographical location, have this underlining of sexual abuse in their story. You'll see in the comments tonight, a lot of people are going to say they too have dealt with something similar at a young age where they obviously could not consent and didn't understand what was going on. Even as a Nigerian, we always joke about the Nigerian weird uncles or the weird Nigerian uncles, right? Who have been eyeing you and looking at you from when you were a kid. And it seems like as soon as you're an adult, they say or allude to inappropriate things and gestures. We joke about it, but the joke really isn't a joke. The reality is children are preyed upon by adults in either impoverished communities, households where parents are not always around, or cultures where children are led to fear or give unwavering respect to adults without questioning their off-putting tendencies and behaviors. And that's what I see in this situation as well. These allegations are really disturbing, and just like everyone else on the internet is saying, I hope that they can take this conversation off of Zeus Network, go to therapy, work things out the best that they can. If forgiveness is in the picture, that's up to them, but it's going to take a lot more than Zeus Network using this snippet for any of the people involved to get healing that they need. Now, my second and final point is toxic families. And I kind of touched on this in the last point, but the reason why I wanted to talk about toxic families is because I feel like when you look at the Malones, all I see is a stereotypical Black family. I don't mean to be offensive, but I see a stereotypical ghetto Black family, different baby daddies, mothers on drugs. They have all these kids that they really can't take care of. They have babies raising babies. They have young teenage pregnancies. They have dysfunction, drug and alcohol abuse, or ratchet or uncouth behavior, lack of boundaries, disrespect, built up anger. That is what I see here. And I believe because of that, the conversation being put on Zeus platform is just showing the toxicity within two sisters. And again, I'm inclined to believe Chrisean because I don't think it's fair to discredit someone speaking about their childhood experience. But what I do have to also include is that these two sisters have been at odds for a while, and I believe the conversation was brought to light because the toxicity that exists within this family for years is hurt and pain, causing hurt and pain to one another for many different reasons. Tesehki has been a breakout star on Zeus, more than what people expected, and definitely more than what Chrisean expected. And now that Chrisean is out on bail, and I believe she's trying to do all of these admissions, this big push for God and religion, her speaking softly, her not fighting, her showing her son more, her trying to make it seem like she's turned over a new leaf. She's only doing that so that whenever she does go for her trial or sentencing, she can convince the judge and the jury that she's a changed person, and she she shouldn't face the time that she's facing. I think it's a facade. I don't think she's changed all the way, because if she did, why would she agree to do any conversation on Zeus Network, which is the same network that has exploited her for years and platformed the decisions that have added to why she's in legal trouble? But that's just my opinion. But with them being at odds, Chrisean said this because she does have toxicity embedded in her through hurt, pain, and jealousy towards her sister's newfound stardom, and she wants the world to condemn Tesehki and knock her down from wherever she is. She wants the world to punish and chastise Tesehki to have the court of public opinion give more credit to Chrisean. And I will add that this is not the first time that Chrisean and that Tristan have said this. She's gone live to address similar allegations. She talked about the playing house. She has said this before, so it's nothing new. But I do think it is convenient that she speaks on this during the times where her and her sister are not good, and also what she's facing. And I believe that it's very toxic to play around with the severity of a conversation like this and an incident like this. I would really want this family to understand that there's a lot of healing, and it's too touchy of a subject to use spitefully, especially for people's entertainment. It's very serious. I cannot in good conscience condemn Chrisean for speaking out on what happened to her. I just can't. I just see a family that has a long way to go to unpack a lot of things that made them who they are and how they are today. After watching the Chrisean and Blueface show, I got a very clear picture of why this family has become who they are. And it starts from the parents. That is who to blame first and foremost. Their oldest sister, China, was making allegations that Chrisean and Tesehki's dad also molested her. And I'm not sure how aware their mother was, probably not that much since she's always been on drugs, but even if she was aware, it's toxic to keep these types of men or these people around your young children and even continue with generations further, like the nephew who would essentially be Chrisean's mother's grandchild. I feel like this family does nothing but bring each other down, and it's always at the most inconvenient times. But that notwithstanding, they need a lot more help than what Zeus Network can offer them. Whenever that episode comes out of them having this conversation, I'm sure there'll be a lot more commentary once we get more context on what is being said. But just from this small snippet, I see a toxic family that has more issues than they even have people in the family, and it's a lot of kids in that family. I do pray that although the allegations are horrific, I acknowledge that everyone was a child, so I pray that there's enough healing and possible forgiveness between all of the people to come to a common ground. And that can be, hey, you did this to me and I no longer want to speak to you or have any relation with you ever again. I think that's very fair. Or it can be, hey, you did this to me, but due to the circumstances of what was going on in our lives and how young we all were, I'm willing to forgive and move past it. It just depends on each individual, because each individual seems to have a different story as to what happened here. So I will just be praying for them. God, please use the fruits of your spirits on this entire family in this situation, and I'll stay tuned for the full episode to see what happens next. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. Y'all, I finally have my new vlog out of the Nigerian wedding that I went to, so I will link and pin that down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my vlog channel. I'm going to be posting more on there. The holidays are coming up, so you know, we might just have some extra content, but check out my new vlog and definitely subscribe. And as always, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
To my pal, mademoiselle, l'amour est du caramel. You got my mind spinning like a carousel. Can you tell? Ooh, you so professional, smooth like a criminal. Passenger princess, always treat me like Cinderella. Yeah, call me Bella, say I look Stella. Tu me fais bêta, ils sont jealous. C'est mon père from my left side. J'ai regardé, je ne vois pas no other man. Number one, Papa, you know you're my only one. 2 times 2, buy me everything under the sun. Toi, c'est moi, bisous on my body, love that. Yeah, we had tough times. Can we rise above that? Your smile's my weakness, your body give me releases. It do my day be increasing, then you bless me like sneezes. I could write a whole thesis when I give you these reasons. Count on, 2, 5, come on baby, come on. And when you put it this, I like a that.